Yes.
Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's edition of On Your Sofa discussion, a program that my colleague, friend, and a very inspirational woman by the name of Christine Locke, CEO of Diversity House, we actually, out of the blue, came up with this, and we've been having fun doing this. And I hope that you, our viewers, have been having fun too. So today we're going to be discussing assertiveness and behaviors, your route to success. Why do we want to do this? Well, we're talking about all this in the first instance. The reason we're doing this is because we know there's going to be life post-COVID, post-lockdown. There is going to be a better life. But unless we prepare for that better life now, we will never attain to that. So looking at assertiveness, not just, assertiveness at work or home, but, in general, how are we going to emerge from where we are today and where we're going? So with me, like I said before, is Christine Locke. She's the CEO, she's the founder of Diversity House, a charity that, I don't know, they do everything. So if you have any need, contact Christine Locke on Diversity House, their website. They actually will take care of you. Is it domestic abuse? Is it, women and young girls? Whatever the needs may be, Diversity House is, as it says, it's for diverse needs and also for diverse population. It doesn't matter where you're coming from, who you are. Diversity House is the place that you want to be if you do need any assistance. So my name is Gloria, Councillor Gloria Para. I am one of the elected members of Medway Council, and I also run my own business. I'm the director of Cyber Engineers, a company that is into cybersecurity training and consultancy. But before we move on, I'm going to let Christine tell you a bit more about this exciting charity that she runs. Go on. How are you, Christine?
Oh, hello, Gloria. How are you doing? You okay?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you too?
I'm fine, thank you. Wow, thank you
to have you again.
Thank you for the good, introduction. Like you rightly said, let me tell you a bit about Diversity House. Diversity House is a charity that I started in 2007. And I noticed that the areas in Kent where we're living, it had, was fastly growing to become cosmopolitan. But yet, services were not geared to for those that are from ethnic minority background. The services were also not holistically commissioned and delivered for those that are at the edge of their society. You know what I mean? The disadvantaged, the marginalized, those that are easily excluded and left behind, regardless of their race, ethnicity, gender, ability, disability, whatever it is. So I decided that social justice charity would be the best way, a charity that will promote community integration, inclusion, and cohesion, making sure that nobody is left behind in their communities. Hence the name Diversity House. Because in Diversity House, you can come in not being pigeonholed and labeled and put in a box neatly as, woman or man or child or disabled. You come to Diversity House because you're a human being. You come to Diversity House to find succor, to network with people, to develop your skills, life skills and social skills, to socialize with people, to get training or retrain for employment, or to go to further education, whatever it is that you want. It's it is service user led, not organization led. And that's what Diversity House does. And so if people are interested to find out about Diversity House, I could just direct you to www.diversityhouse.org.uk, and you could find more about Diversity House. You know, we teach in schools, we also work in the prisons and within the wider community. And so, without much ado, you want us to kick off now, Gloria?
Not really, because I still want you to talk a bit more about Diversity House. I just want you to share a bit about some of the things that you've been doing during this lockdown, you know, and how you as a person have been actually keeping your life together, holding things together, and also what it is that Diversity House have been doing. You've been using Diversity House to offer during this time of the pandemic.
Yes, thank you for giving me that opportunity, I think, because once you're in the thick of things, you easily get carried away. You don't really think about what you do or what the organization that you represent do, because it's something you do every day. So it's very important that you've given this opportunity for me to talk about this. What have I been doing as a person during this COVID lockdown? Actually, I've tried to be very optimistic. I've tried to plan my life, not just within COVID, but make plans for when this thing, you know, the pandemic will be over, because life will have to go on. And to reinvent myself. So I've been doing a lot of soul searching, as you know, individually. Where do I see myself by, you know, the December this in 2020? What should I be doing as a human being? Where do I want to be? And where do I want to take the charity also? And so what do I want my relationship at home to look like? Yes, with my husband, with my children, and with, you know, other significant people around me. You know, what kind of relationship? Is it a stronger, vibrant, harmonious relationship that do I want to have with them? So I've been using this time for soul searching, and to set goals for what I want to do, what I want to achieve, and where I want my family to be. So, and I've been studying because, you know, I've set goals. I'm doing my PhD and I want to do that. So it's been keeping me busy. I've not been wasting time listening to the same news over and over and over again to affect my mental well-being and to affect my confidence in myself. I've avoided such things. So making tangible plans and measurable, you know, goals. And you know, every day I have my diary, and once I achieve something, I just put a mark on it and say, good, that's been done and out of the way. How did I do it? There are lessons to be learned all the time. And then that's for me. So that's been keeping my mental well-being upbeat. That's been making me feel confident, as if I'm invincible. Nothing can touch me. And then I've used it also to think about the charity, Diversity House. So and to look at the reason for being of Diversity House. Diversity House was not just created for good times. So Diversity House actually was created for times like this. So, and that made us to be very ready from the onset. Once this pandemic, once they said lockdown, nobody should go out, then we put plans in place to start delivering services in very innovative way. So during this period, we rebranded the website of the charity. Training started happening online. Outreach, the outreach of going, you know, face to face to people, most of it became, you know, an online outreach. And we actually gave the timetable to all our service users and collaborators, not just the service users, but other agencies. We let them into our timetable and what we could do for them and how we can work with them collaboratively to make sure that a robust service is, you know, that will meet the expressed needs of the service users themselves. We are delivered or are being delivered to them. So, and that's what we've been doing all this time. And so we've been very, very busy. Apart from the online services that we've been delivering, we also go out to drop food, food parcels, door to door, to be very, aware of the dangers. So we we are prepared and dressed properly to go and drop off this food to those that are very vulnerable people that may not see anybody from day to day, or those that don't have enough money to meet some of their needs. So we make sure that we deliver food items for them and call on them and check that they're well, both mentally and otherwise. So it's been a very good learning curve for us, using the methods that we are using now.
That's excellent. I mean, I am aware that as Diversity House, you do a lot, and even as an individual with your family. And like you rightly said, so often we shift the focus away from, just reflecting on some of the things we do because we are so busy and not having that time to stop to just think and ponder. And so it was important that, you had the chance to let your viewers know how you have been coping during this pandemic, during this lockdown, and also, how you have innovatively, obviously reinvented more or less not so much what you do, but how you do things, with the charity. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
And so we're going to be looking at the agenda for today, and obviously we've done a brief introduction. For some of you, we've been doing this shows for over 3 weeks now, and this is the first time you would have obviously heard Christine describe to some extent what it is that Diversity House does and how she does things. So we want to welcome everyone who is joining us either directly or even later listening to this chat on the website. Okay, and today we're going to be looking at.
Can I stop you there? Can we welcome Bob? Is it Bob?
Bob, yes, and.
Hi, Christine. It's Claire.
Oh, Claire, you said Bob here. Claire, how are you?
I know it's our family iPad, so I can't log in on my work stuff as discussed. But I thought I'd drop in and see how you're doing.
Oh, thank you very, very much. You're welcome to join us today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello, Claire.
Hello, you all right?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you too?
Keeping well, thank you, in these strange times and adjusting.
Excellent, excellent. We just finished with the introduction, giving Christine a chance to tell us a bit about what she does and how she's been managing to keep well, and also to reinvent the way she offers her services to her service users during this pandemic. I've worked with Christine more or less since the lockdown, and I have seen a lot of changes, very, very impressive changes that she's made, how she's been able to reach out to her service users. Today, we're going to be looking at assertiveness and then the behaviors relating to assertiveness. Christine, I'm going to actually be putting a lot of questions to you. I know, you're not ready for this, but, you're always ready, so don't worry about it. But we are not just going to talk through each slide as we've done in the past. So I'm going to, from time to time, get you to talk about how, behaviors and assertiveness pertaining to, what you do, how you have been able to bring in the good behaviors, and maybe sometimes you also have to deal with, not so good behaviors, and as we go along. So please bear with me if you don't mind.
Oh, that was wonderful. It's good to make it very practical. Yeah,
yes.
That was wonderful.
So the spotlight is on you today, Christy.
Oh, thank you. I love that.
So obviously looking at assertiveness and behavior as well. Last chat that we had, last discussion, we actually were able to describe or to define assertiveness as something that we do, obviously being able to express our needs and our wants without putting others down, without disrespecting anyone else, but being able to stand up for what we believe and taking everyone else around along with us. Okay, you may have another definition of that, Christy.
No, that's quite good. But the only thing I wanted to add is assertiveness is not something that you are born with. It's a learned behavior. So it's something that you learn as you go along. Yeah.
Yeah, very true. And you know, Claire, one of the reasons, actually the main reason we've been doing this is really to help people during this time of the lockdown. Yeah, it is long. It's been long. But during this time of the lockdown, just to see how through our discussions, people will obviously pick up one or two tips on how to keep mentally alert, keep healthy, and keep also planning for life beyond COVID-19, because there is going to be life beyond COVID-19. So looking at assertiveness from last discussion, today we're going to be looking at the behaviors that we can associate with assertiveness or with aggression. Christine, again, back to you. You have described at the beginning how you started the charity so many years ago. Can you tell me how assertiveness would have played a role, okay, in helping you from the time you started to 13 years on? Okay, how you have been able to bring in what we are talking about today into running and being successful at running Diversity House.
Thank you very much. I really like the way, the tone of this discussion today, because it looks as if it's just experiential now. It's not theoretical, exchange. So thank you. It has to be down to earth. Yes. To start the charity 13 years ago, it wasn't an easy thing. And it was very daunting because I've never done something like that before. How did I dabble into, setting up a charity? I dabbled into setting up a charity because I was asked by some, authorities to actually carry out a research on the needs of local people, some group of communities, and so that services could be commissioned and delivered to meet the needs of those people. And so as soon as I finished the research and got the information or the findings from the research and made my recommendations, nothing happened. And you could imagine, as a researcher doesn't want to research something and the results are kept on the shelf. You want the results, the findings and recommendations to be implemented. So it's now done to me to actually implement the recommendations myself. So I had to turn it around. So it took guts to want to do that, because I did it as a consultant, independent consultant. I wasn't geared towards, setting up a charity. But I didn't want to let the research down, so I had to set a charity to implement, their expressed needs. So, but wanted to run a charity also, I wanted to set up a charity that I would just set it up and disappear. So in order to do that, in order to set it up and disappear, I needed to carry along all those stakeholders that commissioned me to start to do the research. So I I wrote the plans and everything, and I went back to the stakeholders severally to say to them, oh, these are the reasons why I needed to set up this charity. So it took me also the confidence, which is assertiveness, the confidence, standing up by myself to go to these people with authority, to speak my mind forthrightly, calmly, but with clarity of what the visions and how it should be. So that's assertive. And I told them exactly why I wanted to set up this charity and the benefits it could be for all those stakeholders, And I had 4 or 5 meetings, and each time I go to have the same meeting with them, they'll behave as if they never had. That was the first time I was coming to them. Okay, listen, if I wasn't assertive, you have had series of meetings on the same subject with people, stakeholders. Somebody that is not assertive will get angry by their reactions of, they found ignorance. Oh, yeah, why? Those kind of behavior. Oh, but I was steadfast. I wasn't daunted at all. I said, okay, if that's the way they want to play this game,
You play
play that way. So I keep giving them the information. If they wanted information overload, okay, until we get to the saturation point, then they'll be tired and they can buy into what I'm saying. So calmly, I will go back to them each time to give them information why setting up a charity is okay. But actually, they didn't want it. And I found out that they cannot be swayed at all. So I decided to start the charity. I got some community-minded, similar-minded people with similar vision to join me, and we started the charity.
Excellent.
And so this is exactly how, so I've linked assertiveness, I've linked not being aggressive, because aggressive, if you show that trait, aggressive comes with your mannerism, the way you present, the way you hold dialogues, the way you present yourself, your stance also. Knowingly or unknowingly, your stance could be off-putting and people can misread it. It will become a miscommunication because you remember that, aggressiveness or whatever is a way of communication too. And we did talk about communication in the last 2 or the previous session we had. Yeah. We talked about communication and miscommunication, and saying that communication is 7% of communication is just words. 33% is pitch and tone, while the rest, 57%, is the symbol, the body language, your stance, and all that. So I did make sure that I avoided those stances and those body language and the tone and the pitch that could put them on. And I tried also, because I did understand myself, because I'm a very passionate person. And if I did not tone down my pitch and the tone, they could, because remember already, they didn't want to buy into the idea of the charity. So if I actually bring the whole tone and the pitch because of your passion, then they will say, yes, that will be self-fulfilling prophecy. So, what an aggressive person. So I think I've linked this nicely with what we are trying to, the context of today's discussion.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that. You've not finished. And so what I'm going to do now is, obviously, we've got types of behavior, or 4 types of behaviors on the screen right now. Again, I would like you to talk us through, these 4 types, not forgetting to relate it to what you do, okay? And because there are times, let's think about passive behavior, you have come across, either as volunteers or what have you, you've come across people who have that type of behavior. No doubt, although, your charity is all about helping people from different backgrounds and social economic backgrounds they come from, but you would have encountered aggressive behaviors, people with aggression. And so it will be good. Again, what I want to do today is really to give you an opportunity to bring out to your listeners and viewers what it is that Diversity House does, and obviously how you as a person, because you are the brain behind this awesome charity, how you have integrated all these things, because some people are very good at just talking and really not having anything to show for it. But here you are, just let us know how you have dealt with all this and how it can help somebody who is listening to you today as well.
Oh, yeah, thank you very much. Because being practical is very, very essential, because obvious, mostly, some people, like some scholars will have the theoretical knowledge, they don't have the experiential background, so in this time, I appreciate you wanting me to mix the theoretical with the experiential aspect of it all, to make it very real to the service users and other people that will be watching or are participating in this discussion. So thank you very much. That's a very, very good model that you used. Yes, let's start with the passive one. What's passive? Some people will think being passive, and we mentioned about communication before, a passive person, so placid, you know what I mean? So placid, so flat, just there, the stance and everything. So what is the trait? What are the features and the characteristics of, somebody that shows passive way of, doing things? This person is afraid to speak up. A passive person is always afraid of their own shadow, or seem to, or appear to be afraid of their own shadow. Okay? They are afraid to make eye contact. Oh, they're slouching. They're slouching that way. Their stance, their posture shows the wrong messages. Remember that communication, your body speaks more than your voice, your vocal, your body says it all. And so when you are coming with that negativity, the not looking at people, the defeatist and ways of looking, that's a passive person. They speak so softly. Oh, they do speak. Most of them do speak so softly that you could be. I'll give you an instance. I was helping. There was somebody that was referred to me to be helped within the women program that we run, the Women and Girls program. And this person, very nice young lady, very, very wonderful, very wonderful lady, but has an issue. So noble and unable to get a job. Unable to get a job, even if you help to write a very good CV for this person and coach and do job coaching, and this person is able to get an interview, but she always, she just lets herself down when she gets to the interview. Why? Because even though you've given some mentoring and coaching and say, listen, 60% of your interview, 60% is the presence. As soon as you get into the room, you've won the hearts of these people. And you could sell the sand and tell them it's gold. But by your courage, your stance, your openness, and your ability to speak, have good dialogue and speak up. oh, this lady will go, this wonderful lady will get in there, and then people will be struggling to hear what she's saying. Oh, she's like, so you will, they will say, yes, what? At the end, they will give up. She will not able to sell herself at all. So she avoids people. She's like frightened of people. She clutches and is withdrawn. Is very anxious at all times. She isolates herself and self-isolates. And each people come closer to her, she has some panic attacks and all that, or appear to have. So there may be an underlying issue, but she, appears as a very passive lady. And so does not have self-worth. She talks herself down and talks herself out of situations. She actually believes that she's worthless. Oh, I don't think I can. How can't you think you can? Have you tried? Have you made an effort? You see what I mean? Oh, so when we are doing networking and say, oh, could you talk about yourself? Oh, I have nothing to say. Let more important people say, I'm not like all these other ladies there. Then I would say, who told you you're not like these other ladies? Do they have two heads and you have just one? So what makes them better than you? Are they coming from planet Mars and you're coming from planet darkness? Where are you coming from? Could you kindly say something? Tell them about yourself. They want to hear. And you know, the day she ventured to say something about herself, everybody stood up. 32 people within the networking coffee morning stood up to applaud this lady. So she had something to say. So that's what somebody that is passive, these are some of the character traits of this person.
And also, obviously, going back on our previous discussions on domestic abuse,
Exactly.
A lot of partners, so there are partners who feel that, by being passive, they are obviously staying away from trouble, but, and not inviting violence and what.
Exactly.
And so they go on being victimized by their partners, because of the way they come across, they choose to be passive. And Claire, obviously in the job that you do, you must have come across many victims who have taken the line of, or the path of being passive to situations that put them in danger. How have you dealt with that in your work?
I think for me, it's about talking and encouraging people and assurance, really, in our line of work that there is support there, and that we're there to listen and just encourage them to have that voice and speak up and be heard, and that they don't have to tolerate certain forms of behaviour,
right,
and put up with it and feel like they're alone. So I think a lot of it is down to what support they have around them, and guidance. People haven't necessarily got good friendship groups. They can talk to people that they can discuss things with. So I think it goes back to Christine's comment of self-isolation and isolating yourself, because sometimes people feel that's an easier option, and maybe that people won't listen to them and they can't help. I think it's that you can't help me, but actually you can. So it's just encouragement, really. In my role, it's not necessarily a quick fix. It's not necessarily something that can be done in one discussion. I think you have to trust that person. It's a lot to let someone in when you're going through things, and to have that voice. It's a powerful thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's all about caring for others, really, and making sure that they know that someone's there for them. And like Christine said, just giving that encouragement, really, to come forward and speak and have a voice. And actually, once you do it, it becomes easier, I think. But yeah, there's no quick fix. I think it's something that you've just got to keep trying yourself, but it can be done.
And it's not so much based on your gender as such, is it? It can happen to men and women and, boys, girls, any age, isn't it?
Definitely. Yeah, it's not gender specific. It's not age specific. There's lots of reasons why people will be not able to talk up and maybe not able to express their feelings, or they withhold feelings. There's lots of reasons behind it. Yeah, there's many people.
Thank you.
I agree with you, because sometimes people become passive because they are worried that if they are not passive, they may be hurting other people's feelings.
Yeah.
It could be over caring, caring for other people more than yourself.
Yeah.
I don't want to hurt them. Or I can handle it. I have broad shoulders. Let's just keep bashing on me. It's okay. But without knowing,
it doesn't always work, does it? Just being passive doesn't mean that you're the person who is victimizing you would leave you and go away, right?
No.
It's just like a bully. The bully would never go away.
No.
In fact, the more passive you become, the more aggressive they can be towards you, because now they've got you where they wanted you, isn't it?
Yeah, because you're dormant. You're a very easy doormat, so they could just walk all over you at all times.
Yeah.
Well, but remember that also assertiveness is a learned behavior. And also being passive is a learned behavior. Maybe something has happened in the past to this person. And this person, being passive is a withdrawal, a strategy, or kind of a shell going into her own shell.
Or coping
mechanism, yeah.
Exactly. So that could be that also.
Yeah.
So quickly going to the aggressive bit of it. And I think everybody here and all our viewers are looking at that vigilant, that picture there actually shows you what it could be like to be aggressive. But also let's remember sometimes there are cultural communication. We must remember cultural communication when we talk about this thing. So it's not written in stone or with blood that's how an aggressive person may appear. Some cultures actually believe in gestures, in hands and throwing hands up and down and all that. And to cultures that are not, very good at using hands and body and everything, once you start throwing up your hands and your leg and shaking all over the place, it says you are very aggressive. So we also need to be very mindful that we're not saying that everybody that is shaking their hands and flinging it all over the place, that they are aggressive. There are cultural communications, and different cultures have ways that they communicate. So we must be very sensitive when we are interacting or having dialogues with people. But in this case, let's look at sometimes then, avoiding culture or not, sometimes when people are talking to you and they have some kind of postures and stance that can look very intimidating, very intimidating. And the voices that are, the voice also sound angry and intimidating. You could actually decipher the passion from the anger. Passion and anger, when people are passionate and are saying something, it rings quite differently. You see, I'm talking to you now with passion because I want to communicate how important that this topic is. But also, so that's different from being aggressive. An aggressive person will have this anger undertone when they're speaking to you. And then you'll be wondering, what have I done to merit this kind of way of talking to, they're dressing you down, totally angry, as if the whole world is coming to an end, and as if they're seeing blue murder, you know what I mean? So an aggressive person will interrupt you at each time. They won't because it's intimidating. That's the way to intimidate you, to talk you down. So they won't let you get in a word at all when they're talking to you. An aggressive person will speak to you loudly, not passionately, loudly. So remember that communication also, the tone and pitch is important when you're communicating. And so this aggressive person, the way this aggressive person will do is to talk loud, intimidate you, interrupt you at every move. An aggressive person also glares and stare at you, as if, by staring at you, the whole world will come to it's just to frighten you. It's just to frighten you. So they stare at you and, roll their eyes and, snarl and do all sorts of things. So it's intimidation. So the strategy is to intimidate you, to make you to stand down, to make you not to remember the boundaries that you want to set or that you have set before, to make you jump and say yes to something, to make you forget the I statement. We have talked about the I statement. The I statement is what an assertive person uses to say, listen, Gloria, I felt frustrated when you did not call me on Sunday. You planned to call me on Sunday, but you failed to call me on Sunday, and I felt frustrated. So the aggressive person would come before you can even say I, and say, you didn't even bother to call me. You didn't even check on me to see why I did not call you. So did you see how he changed it? Did you see how an aggressive person changed? So it's a tactic to intimidate you, talk you down, and you forget your I statements. And you agree with them, and you begin to feel guilty. So the aggressive person is controlling. He's very controlling. And also, an aggressive person will stand rigidly. Very rigidly. It's not in an assertive way. Aggressive person will have their hands in an aggressive way in an akimbo. That's the stance of an aggressive person. Yes. Why? No. So that's the stance of an aggressive person. All these intimidation techniques. The aggressive person values themselves. He or she values himself or herself more than the person they are having interaction. Okay? They, not we. Me comes first, not us. I, you. I'm important, you are less important. Because I'm important, you need to listen to me. I don't have time to listen to you. You listen to me. So you see, that's the thought of an aggressive person. An aggressive person will hurt you easily. Because when somebody is thinking about me first, I'm important, you need to listen, don't you think this person is going to be hurting you? So that's some of the traits of this person. They will walk all over you. They will stampede all over you in order to reach their goal.
I think what the whole thing it boils down to is that somebody who is aggressive is not really bothered about the other person. It's all about them, isn't it?
Exactly.
So they disrespect others. So everything is all about them. It's for their own personal gains. You know, they don't worry about anyone else, so they can step on anybody or anything to get to where they are, regardless of who they are hurting. Okay, because the reason I'm coming in is because I know time, obviously we've got a very limited time on our side, and there's something, you know, either of you could actually help me with this. You know, it is believed that assertiveness and aggression, there's a fine line between both of them.
Mm-hmm.
What
Yes.
do you say about that, Claire or Christine?
Claire should come in, Claire, please.
Yeah, I think there is a fine line. I think it comes down to your body language as well. So assertiveness, there's levels, isn't there? If you go in fully aggressive with someone else, there's no coming back. Assertive is just putting your point across and do it in a, what I would describe as a positive but firm way, but it's not with aggression. So you haven't got that anger that you can see with someone who is aggressive. So it all falls down to body language. With aggression, you will just see, like Christine said, the whole posture, the facial expressions. I mean, I've experienced a lot of aggression in my service. So yeah, you automatically can tell when someone is full on aggressive, but there are ways and means of dealing with it. If you go in full on aggressive with that person, there's no going back. You can't. You've gone in as high as you can go. So you've got to try and assess it, see if you can bring that person back to your level, and then go from there and reason with it. But yeah, there is a very fine line with assertiveness and aggression. But I think assertiveness is more, you're getting your point across in a respectable way,
right,
and not a negative way. It's a positive way.
Right. Yeah.
Whereas aggression is negative. There's not a lot of positivity in aggression, unfortunately. I don't know your thoughts on that, Christine. I don't know if you wanted to.
Yeah, that's very real. And in your line of duty, and actually in what I do, and most of us, what we do in our daily lives, we come across people like that who actually, like in my line of duty, some people come and they want to take all the services for themselves, and they don't care about what happens to the next person there. All about them. And so the thing is to set boundaries quickly.
Yeah.
So I introduce boundaries quickly and say, these are the do's and don'ts. Agree. If you step this across, over that line, then you may be asked to go away for some time until you calm down, and then you can come back to engage with this service. You see? Or when they're aggressive, like when we run groups, you see somebody that wants to lord it over the next person that is very calm and sensitive. And you don't want that calm and sensitive person to run away. He or she is also an important service user. So you quickly will step in and,
protect. Yeah, of course.
One-to-one meeting, in a safe space with the aggressor to make it, because if you do it in an open space, then it will get worse.
Yes.
It will get worse. So you step in and have a calm meeting in a safe and comfortable space and say, listen, my dear, you are very important to me as my service user. I want you to have a good life, but also I need you to let that other person enjoy me and enjoy the services that we can provide. And so both of us were in this boat together. We all have to make changes. God, you don't like this person, but you must have to accept this person. Agree to disagree, but don't, bring discomfort to this other person. If you agree, then I give you something to sign that you're not going to do it again. Because if you do it again, you will have to go for some time until you cool off, maybe a week or 2 or 3, then you come back and we continue. And I won't hold it against you.
I think with the aggressor or aggressive behavior, it's all about winning, and it's just one person that wins, I win. But with the assertive behavior, it's a win-win situation. We both win. I think that's catalyst. That's how you can judge who is being assertive and who is being aggressive, because somebody will say to you, well, I wasn't shouting, or I wasn't standing in a way that is intimidating, but my demands demean your right. What I'm asking for, right, has not taken into consideration what your needs are. So, I've not bothered to even investigate what or how my request will affect you. It's just about me. This is my needs. I need to win in this, And also, it's having a good negotiation skill, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially for an assertive person. Okay, I know that if I want you to babysit for me, maybe there's something I'm going to do in return. At another time that would benefit, would be of mutual benefit to me or to you as well, especially during this time of COVID-19. People are struggling to manage on their own. People are struggling to be able to communicate their needs. One of the things I do in my time now is I volunteer for the NHS, and there are times when those alerts were coming at very, very unsociable times. For me, obviously, is that probably the time that I am working or cooking or something like that. And sometimes you also call the people to say, I've received this contact about you, and you find that some people don't even have that. They don't have the ability to communicate what it is that you are there to help them for. So it's really for people to know that, yes, it is good for you to be assertive. Okay, no one during this time of COVID-19, we all need to reach out if we do need that. There is help around. Please do not sit back and be passive or be aggressive. You start complaining and then maybe some people take to Twitter or whatever it is, just talking other people down just because your needs are not being met. And the reason your needs are not being met is not because there's no help available, but because you've not communicated those needs in an assertive way, the way that people would understand and come to your aid, right?
Yeah, and you remember that the first ever discussion on the sofa discussion we had, we talked about relationship.
Yeah.
And so this actually links smoothly to the relationship.
Yeah.
Because when you're passive at home, somebody could easily take an advantage of.
Of course.
But also, when you're aggressive or passive aggressive, you could get under people's skin. And so remember, then they'll become violence at home. Young people your siblings can start fighting and quarreling because of the way your posture and the things you said to them. Partners could start, having these squabbles and all that, which may lead to, violence. And so it's important that we actually watch ourselves this time. But let me now put a twist to this. It doesn't end during lockdown, time, watching our behaviors and our behavioral traits. We're going to be preparing to go fully back into our schools and our places of work. This is the time to reassess your behavioral traits and where do I need to make some, make amends?
That's right.
Because I want to go back there and turning a new leaf and building good relationships with my colleagues, with my classmates, with people in the community, and online form. So I think this is a good time to prepare to when we go back to normality, if it's anything like that.
I agree.
I think so. Yeah,
I agree. And like I said, time is fast running out. It's interesting when you start talking about things like this, how time goes very quickly. But the whole idea of doing all this is really for us to be able to cope now and to prepare ourselves for what is likely to be the new way of living or the new normal, because that's coming. And on the screen right now is what the differences between the passive person, the aggressive person, and the assertive person. The thing is, if you combine a trait of an aggressive person and a passive person, somehow you end up, achieving an assertive person, because you don't want to be, well, a bit too much to the left. You don't want to be a passive. A passive person is a walkover. And that's the kind of people that an aggressive person actually would like to bully. Okay, so you really don't want to be used by an aggressive person, not at this time, especially when you are enclosed. There is nowhere to run to. That is what you may think, but there is help about. Please, 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 if you're listening to this or you are watching from where you are, I want to say this, and I'm sure that Christine and Claire will want to affirm what I'm saying. There is help. So if you are being victimized at home, please speak out, okay? And if because you have in an assertive way communicated your needs to people around you during this lockdown, and because of that you've been victimized, there is help. No one should be suffering from domestic abuse. There is no reason why you should be taking it. The lockdown has not meant that services are locked out. Isn't that clear? Because isn't that so? And Christine, I gave you obviously at the beginning for you to be able to explain to people what it is that you do. And Claire, I know we've not introduced you. I don't know to what extent you would like to tell us about the things you do, your role of work and your line of work, and the role that you currently play, especially during this time of the lockdown, to see how people really can access support during this time.
Yeah, so for everyone out there, if you are watching, I am a community liaison officer. I work for Kent Police, and I cover the Swale area, and my job role is very vast, but I link in with diverse community groups. I look at victims of hate crime, making sure that people are supported, and I would encourage anyone that is experiencing or going through bad times to talk to people. There's a lot of services open and available. Everything that you do disclose is confidential, and there's so much support out there for people. So please just open up, share, and stay safe is the main message, I would say. There's so much out there available for people wanting to talk, and anyone can go onto our website and it will direct you to different services as well as our own. So yeah, all I would do is encourage people to talk and speak and share with people, and you'll be really surprised at what is out there and available for you.
Great. That's really wonderful, because it's important that you're here, actually, Claire, because people will be wondering, well, so we're in the lockdown now, so who is going to help me? Where will I find help? So it's good that you're here to make it clear that both of you, that there's help out there. We shouldn't suffer in silence. And so let's correct something, Gloria. You said something that when you combine passive and aggressive, you get assertive. I don't think.
No. Somehow you, in some way, obviously, it's actually good that you stopped me. There are times you have to, bite your tongue. There are times. It's not every time that you would have to have something to say, okay? And there are times that you may have to stand up for what you believe, okay? Because especially if they're putting you down. But ultimately, it's when I'm biting my tongue is for your own good. Because if you're faced with an aggressive person, I think, Claire, you mentioned something like that. It's being able to calm that person down. Okay?
Definitely.
So at that point in time, yeah, maybe sometimes don't even look at them in their face, in their eyes, look away.
Yeah, what I'm trying to say, Gloria, is there's this character trait that we've not mentioned.
Yeah.
And that character trait is it's in between. It's called passive aggressive.
Yeah.
So the passive aggressive person combines the trait of a passive person and that of an aggressive person. So because the passive person has been internalizing all the bad things that have been put on him or her, then the next thing they will do is they go, it's like Darth Vader, if anybody watches.
Yeah, no, that's not what I meant. No, you're right.
Yeah, so then they become, even when they're mumbling, even when they're speaking, remember a passive person has very soft way of saying things, you rarely hear them. So even when they're wanting to be aggressive, they're like, you know, that kind of, you've met some people like that, you'll be wondering, so what's going on here? You know, so that's that kind of character that be bubbling and be like that. So they're not coming out, you're very forcefully aggressive, and they're not coming out passive and passive. So they're in between. Okay? So, and if you say, okay, you know, the aggressive person will blame other people and not blame themselves. But the passive person will have a way of, you know, say, oh, okay, you have it your way now. You see what I mean? Yeah. So such terminologies and such terms in saying things. Just, I'm mindful of the time also. Yeah.
No, it's there are times where, like I said before, I don't mean passive and aggressive person. That's not what I mean. But I'm just saying there are times when you're faced with an aggressive person that you may well want to be passive at that time for your own safety. Yeah. Okay. For your I mean, you also said something that you know, when a service is overbearing, it's almost intimidating another service user, that you take them away, okay, into a safe place to have that conversation with them. You don't come aggressive. No, well, it's not the time for you to start addressing to their face and before everyone else what it is that they have done. So it's all about being sensible as well, especially during this time. But I believe, okay, that it's been a very wonderful time. I know there are examples. Christine, we've kind of come to, well, we've run out of time. Do you want to take the other slides next time?
Okay, we've talked about this. Actually, these are some of the traits, you know, most of the traits, and you know, we thought that an assertive person, I statement, and I've made an example of the I statement, and an assertive person will, we agree to disagree nicely, okay, and not, you know, quarrel about issues. You know, they want to get their own way, but they also want you to get your own way. So it's win-win position for an assertive person, you know.
Show some people who have been assertive in their lifetime.
So, Claire, you know some of these people, or you know all of them, don't you, Claire?
Yes, I do. I think I recognise Michelle, I reckon J.K. Rowling.
Yeah.
Oprah.
Yeah. Yeah, Oprah Winfrey, yeah.
And the last lady, I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
She's an author. I think.
She's an author.
She's an author. She's her name is Chimamanda Ngozi. Chimamanda Ngozi. She wrote you see this the song, the flower, something flower, the sun, yeah?
Yeah, something sun anyway.
Yeah. She's a feminist. Yeah, she's good. Yeah. So why we said this is not an, you know, not the full picture of everybody that is assertive or so. But these are people for, you know, why we use this is because, like you rightly knew 3 of them immediately. Why do you, Claire, think that J.K. Rowling would have been, you know, is an assertive person?
She's had to be to get where she's got to today, I think, and to she's a bestseller, to be fair. So without being assertive and probably she knows her own mind. She knew what she wanted to write. She knew what she wanted to put out there, and and she speaks up.
Okay, yeah, right. You rightly say she's a writer. She's the one that wrote. Name one of her best book. Yeah?
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, but do you know how many times Harry Potter was rejected by the publishers?
No, I don't.
Oh, several publishing houses refused to take it up. And she did not stop. She knew where she wanted. Yeah, she persevered. Because she believed in the writing and everything. And she kept on. She did not allow that to put a stop to what she wants to do. Okay. So most of these people did not grow up with a silver spoon, like we said. They didn't at all. Wilfred, from where she's coming from, a Black American woman and all sorts of things. Michelle Obama herself. So all these women started from the grassroots to where they found themselves today. Yeah.
And Chimamanda, obviously, a Nigerian-born writer. She, I think the first time I actually got to know more about her writing, Half of the Yellow Sun.
Yeah.
It was my daughter studying 2 years ago in A-level literature.
Yes.
So she's very successful. Let me say something. There is somebody missing in this photograph.
Who is that?
You. Or me. Oh yeah, there is you, me, that's Claire. That, listen, you can put yourself
in. Cyber engineers woman.
Sorry?
5.
So often we look at these and we think, oh, well, we can see why they're assertive. But you know what? You too can be assertive. You too are assertive.
Very assertive.
When they're giving, obviously, showing positive images like this, don't forget to put yourself in the picture.
Exactly. Exactly. Thank you for correcting us.
We've gone through all this, haven't we? Yeah, how? Okay, and nicely, we actually have come to the end of our discussion.
That's come so quick.
It's actually been a very lovely time having both of you. Claire, it's nice for you to join us.
Thank you.
Christine, sorry I did that to you. I never warned you that I was going to put you on the spot like I did. But you came out. I knew you could handle it, and you came out quite...
but that was a very good strategy because you see, we've been talking, but we need to really relate this to what people can, say to what they can relate to, rather than being abstract all the time. So I believe it's really good. But this time, just some networking time, and Claire, now networking briefly and all that before our moderator here will kick us out of the room. Yeah. So,
Claire, how have you been doing?
Catching up, Claire? Any catching up at all?
Yeah, come on, tell us, what have you been doing? Working from home?
I have. So I've been working from home since lockdown, and it's been an adjustment, to say the least. Obviously, my job, I'm normally out and about in the community dealing with people, so that aspect I really, really miss. I'm a people person, so I've found other ways. So like Zoom. So like with Zoom and other platforms that I can utilise in work, we've discovered that actually using social media and social platforms now, you can reach out further. There's it's kind of opened our eyes to what more can be done, and it's made it more accessible, I think. So yeah, discovering new ways. It's been very busy. I'm not going to lie. I've been very busy on lockdown, but managing, it's just a new kind of norm, I suppose, at the moment. And with things changing, they're changing all the time, aren't they? So yeah, it's finding new ways, but I can't wait till there's a day where I can get back out and be kind of in the community, and hopefully to some new kind of normal, but yeah.
Well, social distancing.
Yeah, this is it. I think it's just we're all in it together, aren't we? We're all experiencing the same thing, the same thoughts. I think, like we've discussed, just talking to people really, and seeing faces, seeing you two lovely ladies has been quite refreshing today. You're looking lovely as ever. Yeah, it's just nice to speak to other people rather than just being in your home. So I think I would just encourage people just to go and try different things. There's lots of services out there now that are on different platforms. Try it, give it a go, talk to people, and just kind of adjust to this new kind of norm that we're in, really, and support each other.
Exactly.
I think that's what it's about.
What are some of the platforms you found quite useful?
Well, you're one, especially. So I've jumped in on this today, had a little look kindly at Christine's site. So on the Diversity House website, I've had a little look at what's going on there. So for us, work-wise, we're trying to look at new ways of doing event/meetings online, making it more accessible. We're trying to sort of set up the Independent Police Advisory Group for Swale. So especially in these times, it's really important, really, for us to get members and people talking to us and advising us on how we can do better and how we're doing. So I'm finding things each day, keeping in contact with all my community members, but I think it's just going to be an ever-changing thing at the moment, where you learn new ways of communicating and seeing what's out there. I'm not very au fait with IT, Gloria. So for me, it's been a good challenge. It's made me learn a little bit more on how to do calls like Zoom. Trying different things, because I think we're so used to the same way of linking in with people via telephone or face-to-face, that actually this has made it, it's just opened it up, really. I don't know how you found it, how, especially in your line of work as well with the digital network, it's just definitely made people realise you can do so much with it. And
that's right. One of the things that we are now trying to push is to keep people secure, to keep the connections secure, because like you know, the hackers also are aware that more people are now connected, and then in fact they're having a great time at this moment in time, because people who are connected, a lot of them are not safe, they're not secure, their networks are not secure. So what we're doing now really is to push that awareness out in the public, to say, look, just because where you work in your organization, your employer's office or the building is secure, doesn't mean you connecting from your house is secure. This is one thing employers don't also realize. They make all the security on their own end, but the remote worker now connects with from an unsecure part. Therefore, the whole connection becomes vulnerable.
Exactly.
So it is busy. And again, like everyone else, it's just where what we're doing right now is to look at new ways of doing things, because there has to be the new way of doing things.
Yes.
As it used to be, done. So.
Not only that, I was going to say to you, Gloria, that these hackers have been busy. So you know that we set up this meeting, as we are calling, that we need to think about changing changing it so that people will refreshing the meeting so that they won't connect to the same ID again. Updating it, that's what I mean. Because you need to be regularly updated.
Yeah.
Oh, hello, friend. How are you?
Oh, bless.
Yeah. So, that's what we need to do. But I think for us, Diversity House, I didn't anticipate this move all these years. We knew that one day something, we didn't know what it was, but we knew that something was going to happen that would mean that we may not go to work or something. So we've always had our Skype. We've been very active on Skype for years. So we've been encouraging our service users to do Skype with us. So we've been Skype for a very long time. We've also been using WhatsApp for that, because with WhatsApp, they create conference with WhatsApp, FaceTime people, and they don't need to pay. And I think it's the joy of not even paying that makes them want to use the WhatsApp to talk to you and all that. And live streaming is another one that that we've been doing, and connect and comment and do that. The live streaming, the Facebook one makes me happy, because I remember the last time when I was at the national national where is that again, in London, the Royal National whatever. What's that again? When I did remembrance, when you do national remembrance, what's it up with National Albert Hall?
Royal Albert Hall.
Royal Albert Hall. What am I thinking about? So, and I will happily and committedly keep my hand like this on the Facebook throughout the event. And my husband will say, for how long are you going to hold your phone like that? And I said, please, if I don't hold it like this, the people back in Swell will be angry with me. Because once I'm holding it, somebody will say, could you shift it to that side? I'm not seeing it very well. They keep commenting. Oh, Christy, show it, go forward a bit. I'm not seeing those soldiers marching properly. So you've got to. So I've been using that for years and doing things. And so that is why we quickly jumped onto Zoom, jumped onto Collaborate and Team. And the live chat now is a lot God saver, But one thing I'm going to learn about the live chat on our website is to try to put a time limit. Because now I have to put my phone by my bedside. Because even in the middle of the night, and remember time differences, time zone. So somebody from Australia, that their daytime and my early hour was writing to me. So how can I join so and so? Where about do you cover? So I had to sit up and go to the ladies, to the private, and sit down there to be saying, oh, we are in Kent. Kent, not Kent in New Zealand, not Kent in America, but it's Kent in the United Kingdom.
Wow.
So that's what we do. But we could also talk to you and, email and, exchange ideas or support you in whatever way. It doesn't matter, because we are in the United Kingdom. So I need to also remember, because there's a button whereby you can say from 9 to 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
But that defeats the purpose, because the purpose is that what if somebody is being violated? What if somebody is in mental stress? And so the idea is for them to have somebody to talk to quickly.
But you can direct them, because obviously you can't be working way into the midnight hours, 3, 4, and what have you. So if you have a time limit, say, okay, opening times between this and that, outside opening time, these are the numbers you can contact. In the case of emergency, please dial, so because obviously, we're talking about one's mental health. I think we've discussed about you also having your rest. I can't serve anyone if I'm not strong enough, if I'm not mentally well enough to do it. So I still have to be wise, you know, how I do things. If not, there's so much for you to do, so much.
There's so much, I'm telling you. There's so much, like you rightly said. Because waking up from time to talk to people, and also having to be going, you know, it's a lot. Having to be also going to people's homes, you know.
It's risky.
Yeah, it's risky, and the one is doing it because some people are now dependent, that they depend on you. You don't feel happy knowing that these people that depend on you.
Hear that, guys?
Who is that?
Yeah, I told you I'm a volunteer for the NHS.
Oh,
that's an alert. Oh, bless you.
Oh, dear. Right.
Yeah, you're going to answer. Thank God for all you NHS volunteers. And may I use this opportunity to commend also my volunteers who are now volunteering for the NHS. They're wonderful ladies. You know them.
I'm going to take this. I want to accept this, okay?
Yeah.
Please accept it. Claire, you know those people that are sewing, the sewing group people?
Yes.
So now, you know, they've been sewing scrub for the NHS.
Oh, wow.
That's what they've been engaging all this while.
Fantastic people.
Yeah, they
all
are
I
people.
can say is everyone that is doing everything they possibly can to help. Yeah, I personally thank you all. You're amazing. And yeah, you're keeping our country going. So keep up the good work. We're all behind you. And I'm out there faithfully every week, clapping my heart out. So yeah, I appreciate every single one. And obviously I work frontline as well, and my colleague.
I'm going to mute myself while I take this. Is that all right?
Mute yourself, please.
Yeah, I think everyone. I think everyone's doing an amazing job. Everyone's doing as best they can, and I think we've just all got to pull together and get through this, really, and show that we're all united and we can do it.
And I thank also my young volunteers, my young girls that are, you know, volunteers. I can't believe they've stepped up now. They stepped up to help one another. So the young volunteers, they set up a Zoom group. They're doing quiz.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're doing quiz, and they're doing dancing using Zoom, just to help one another. Because at the beginning, the young people, that is our youth club, they were finding it very difficult to cope, not being in school and all that. Especially they started it during the Easter holidays, because before Easter they were in class all the time. But after Easter, you know, during the Easter, they had nothing to do. So they had to set up Zoom, doing quiz every day and dancing. So that's a very, very nice thing to help their mental well. And I also thank my friends in Planet. Look at Salvium, you know, those sewing face masks that they were giving to the care homes around Farnet, Brosted, Margate, Maidstone, and all that. They're wonderful. They're really wonderful. And their husbands and boyfriends are helping to distribute all those face masks that they're doing. So we talk about community integration, talk about community cohesion. This period has been a very, very, we can do it.
Yeah.
Who says we cannot be a cohesive society?
Yeah.
We're showing it. We are pulling together. And I love it. It's wonderful. And what are your plans for this coming week?
For this week?
Coming week, this Friday is gone. We're in Friday.
It all depends on what comes in, really, for me. But my daily work, and yeah, it's been busy. It's been very busy. So I just yeah, I'm just doing what I can, supporting my colleagues as well. Yeah,
Wow.
it's been busy. It's been busy, but we're adjusting. We're making it work, and it's proved we can do it.
Hmm. Did you go to the website to check the International
I
Women's
did.
Day? Did you see it?
I went to the website to check when your meetings all were and what's going on, and thought I had sort of some time spare this afternoon, so I thought I'm just going to drop in.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Drop
Did
in.
you see the Boys to Men?
I haven't seen it yet because I literally flicked on it to get the meetings.
Oh yeah, the Boys to Men. If you go to the project and go to Boys to Men,
Yeah.
and see the video, their song, the songs that they wrote. Oh, it was.
Wow. So it's all uploaded now, because
Eh?
obviously it's all uploaded to the site now, because I know we were booked, weren't we, before the lockdown, and then obviously lockdown happened, so it couldn't take place. We were all booked to come and see.
Yeah, but we didn't finish it all because the project officer, the mother took ill, so we didn't finish all the videos and everything. But
Wow.
what we have is the song that the children wrote and performed at the Big Jam music.
Oh wow! I'll have a look at that. I will go on it and have a little.
That's really good. It's some few minutes, but it's wonderful.
Amazing.
The whole story is beautiful.
Yeah, and they've done it, haven't they? They've done it from start to finish. So
yeah, they wrote the song, they did everything, and the filming, and it was wonderful. I love it.
Amazing. I'll have to go and have a little look at it and see it in all its glory.
Yeah,
I've heard all about it, but I just haven't seen it.
I just miss. I miss. I can't stay away from all this. The community. I miss all. All the people. I miss everybody so much.
Yeah.
And
I think it's because we're alike. We like that human contact, don't we? And
yes.
I miss that side so much. Just dealing with people and speaking to people, and just it's good having Zoom meetings. They're good, but it's still not the same as having that face-to-face contact and an
it can be.
Yeah.
Wow, charity like ours, we won't stay alive for a very long time without seeing people.
No.
I wonder why, some charities are just there waiting for when things will open. We can't afford to do that.
No, because I think things will, unfortunately, I think our lives will change from this.
Oh, yeah.
It's not going to go back to how it was. I think we've got to find new ways forward. But like you say, you can't stop. You've got to find new ways of doing stuff. And when we do finally get a lift, which there will be at some point in the future, it'll just be a little bit different to what we were previously used to. But I think still have that face-to-face. Just might be 2 meters apart for a while.
Oh, no, the face-to-face is good, man. We can't afford not to.
No, definitely not.
It's good. It's good.
How are you? Are you and your family doing well, though?
Yeah, we're doing well. Are you?
Yes. Yeah, very well. Yeah, very well. I've still got my daughter at home with me, so she's